Hey guys, we're going to be looking at systems of equations today, and that is going to be on page 412 in your book. And now I'm not going to lie that this is a little difficult, but I'm going to try to take it slow and we'll get it, I promise. Okay, now I'm just going to show you some of the notes that I have made on this, okay? All right, now your system of equations, to solve for x and y, you need two equations, okay? When you have two equations, that's called a system of equations, meaning that could look like this right here, okay? These are the two equations, and I want to find out what makes those two equations, what will solve those two equations. Okay, now, one way to solve it is by graphing. That's not the only way, but that's the way that we are going to do it, okay? Now, when you solve this by graphing both of the equations, several things can happen. Your lines can intersect, and that point, the x and y, where they intersect, that's going to be the solution to the system of equations. Or you could have lines that are parallel. Now, you know parallel means like railroad tracks, okay? Now, if that is true, then that means the lines don't intersect at all, so there would be no solution to that system of equations. Or you could have where both of the equations end up on the same line, and that would mean that there would be an infinite number of solutions for those equations, okay? So either your lines are going to intersect, okay, and where that point is, where they come together, that would be your answer, how that solution would be, that point of intersection would be the solution to this system of equations. Or they might be parallel, okay, which would mean that there would be no solution, okay, because they don't intersect at all. Or they could end up the lines right on top of each other, okay? Now, let's look at this problem right here, okay? Now, if I want you to think back to the other videos that we did, we talked about slope form. That would be y equals mx plus b. Okay, and m, okay, that's your slope, and b, that is your y-intercept. Okay, if you look at these equations are already set up in slope form. Okay, so we're going to look at this first equation right here. Y equals negative 2x plus 4. Now, this right here is my y-intercept. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and look. I just did a T-grid, okay, where I did my y-axis and my x-axis. You don't need graph paper. You can do it like this too. So I went over and I'm going to stay here at 0, and I'm going to go up to positive 4, and I put my point right there, okay, because that is my y-intercept. That's where my line is going to touch the y line, okay? All right, so then I need to figure out what my slope is, okay? So my slope right here is going to be m, that's my slope, is going to be equal to negative 2 over 1. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, since my slope is negative, I'm going to come down negative 2 and over 1. So I'm going to come down negative 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to go over 1. And I'm going to put my point, 1, 2, over 1, put my point right there. So I've got 2 points so I can draw my line. Now, it'd be better if I had a ruler here because I can't make it very straight, okay? But that is my line for this first equation, okay? So now I want to look at this next problem here. So I have y equals 2x. But if you notice, I want it to be in this slope form, okay? So I do have y equals 2x, but I just don't have anything for my y-intercept. So that would mean that it would be 0. Okay, so that means for my second point here, I'm going to come over here to my origin, okay, and we're 0, and I'm going to put a dot right there. Okay, now, so that is my y-intercept. Okay, then right here, my slope, m equals, that's my slope, 2 over 1. Okay, now sometimes they give me a fraction here and I would use that, but if it's just the whole number to make it a fraction, I'm going to put it over 1. So since this is a positive, now you notice I went down because this was negative. Okay, here this is positive, so I'm going to go up 2, 1, 2 over 1. Okay, so now I have my points, so I'm going to graph that. Now, where do these lines come together? Right there. That is going to be, that point, that x and y is going to be my answer for this system of equations. So that point would be over 1, 1, 2. So that would be my answer for that system of equations. Okay, which would mean if I put this in, if I had this problem, y equals negative 2x plus 4. Now, okay, that's my x and y. If I put y is 2, and I put negative 2 and x is negative 1 plus 4. All right, I've got 2 equals, this right here is going to give me a negative 2 plus 4. When I add those together, that's going to give me a positive 2 is equal to positive 2. Is that right? Yes, that's correct. Okay, I'm going to put this same answer, okay, remember that that's where they intersect, the two lines intersect. I'm going to put that into this next problem, which is this one right here, and see if it checks out. So I've got x equals 2x. Equals 2x. So y we said was 2, and my x is 1. So I've got 2 times 1, 2 equals 2. That's right. Okay, so I just checked that by finding my system of equation here, where they intersected each other. Okay, now I'm going to do one more here. All right, I'm going to do, let's see, y equals negative 3x plus 3, and y equals negative 3x minus 7. Okay, now I'm just going to draw my t-grid. Okay, all I did was do my x and y axis. This is y, this is x. Okay, so now I'm going to look at this formula right here, or this equation, and it tells me, remember, we're still mx plus b. This is my slope formula. Okay, this is what I want it to look like. Okay, so, and b right here, remember, that's my y-intercept, and my m is my slope. Okay, so right here, I've got a y-intercept of 3. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to put my point. Okay, then this is telling me my slope is negative 3. So that means, I remember I want it to look like a fraction, so I'm going to put negative 3 over 1. So I'm going to go, since it's a negative, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go over 1. Okay, so that is going to be my, line right there. So let's look at this next problem. So I've got y equals negative 3x minus 7. So my y-intercept is 7, negative 7. So I'm going to go to negative 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to put my point right there. Okay, so since this is negative, I'm going to go down negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1. Okay, and then I'm going to draw my line through those points. Okay, now, if my lines were straight here, those lines do not touch, do they? No. Okay, these lines would be parallel. Okay, that means that they has no solution. Okay, because they do not intersect anywhere. Okay, they have to intersect like we had over here. Remember, our points came together, they intersected right there. okay? So these do not, so this would have no solution, okay? All right, now, what I'm asking you to do is for homework, on page 415, do numbers 9 through 12. Okay, that's only 4 problems. Now, you're going to do them like I did here. Okay, I'm going to send you pictures of this, so hopefully, there won't be, this will help answer some questions. I know this is difficult. Please try to do the best that you can, and I will help you in any way that I can. Okay, thank you.